Our next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, is a bitumen market analyst. Well, ladies and gentlemen, she is none other than Miss 𝐅𝐮𝐞𝐿 𝐅𝐮𝐞𝐿. She is here to talk about a recap on the bitumen price of the last quarter of 2022 and possible scenarios of the first quarter of 2023 in the Middle East. She's an export manager at Infinity Galaxy and a bitumen market analyst with over 6 years of prolific experience in trading and shipping. She excels in bitumen and petrochemical products, primarily to India, East Asia, and Africa. She has been writing weekly bitumen market analysis to serve as a market consultant and to enable Indian importers to make informed decisions based on the market trends. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome Ms. 𝐅𝐮𝐞𝐿 𝐼𝐻.
Hello, everyone. This is 𝐅𝐮𝐞𝐿 𝐼𝐻, the export manager of Infinity Galaxy. Today, we're going to discuss about a recap on the bitumen price trend in Middle East in the last quarter of 2022 and the probable scenarios in the first quarter of 2023. Here, the base for comparing the last quarter of 2022 is our weekly Friday reports of bitumen market. In October, on 5 October, the 33rd meeting of OPEC was held, and in this meeting, it was decided to reduce production by 2 million barrels from 1st November. After the announcement of this decision, crude oil price increased in a range of 93 to 98 at that time. Also, in India, we faced, on 1st October, we faced a decrease of $10, while on 16 October, a $15 increase was observed too. After this 2 million cut of production, Iran range of competition was very varying, and we faced a range of 13 to 50% competition among the Iranian refineries, and we also observed 5% decrease in the vacuum bottom base price. US dollar index also volatile up to 112 unit, and as after this happening, the equity of US dollar against Indian rupees was around 83, which was an unprecedented record in India as well. Serious signs of recession was also observed in the world's economy. In November, I think during November, here the HSFO price was discussed. Crude oil price of November was analyzed on the charts, and finally we came to the bitumen price during the November and changes that happened over there. On 1st November, and after the announcement of OPEC's decision about 2 million cut of production, we find that oil price and crude oil price increased in Middle East, and even after the announcement of security threats. On 1st November, India increased bitumen price around $10, while on 16 November, we faced another increase of $26.5 as well. New records were also observed in Iran IME exchange, and we faced that the range of competition was very, very unprecedented, which was in the range of 60 to 90% as well. An increase of VB price was also observed too, and it was around 8.3%. The head of World Bank also warned about the signs of global recession in the world, and China's economic growth was another concern of the world, which was accordingly affected the economy of all the world. About also sanctions that we observed in Russia, we saw that these severe sanctions were almost around the zero export of Russia's oil to other countries, because European countries were boycotting the Russia's oil, and G7 countries also were planning to determine a price cap for Russia to put pressure on the buyers of the Russia's oil. The fear of outbreak of corona caused the crude oil to drop around 3.5 75 during November also as well. Iran from 20 October to 20 November faced an average range of competition around 50, more than 50%, and these records were happening on and on during IME competitions by the refineries. The objections that we observed in China against the zero COVID policies were affecting the world very negatively, the economy of the world very negatively, and fluctuations that we observed in Singapore HSFO prices was not actually undeniable. We faced that on 29 November, we faced an increase of 26 US dollar, which it came to 395 US dollar, while the next day, on 30 November, we faced another decrease around 21 US dollar, and we faced the range of 375 in India. About the Singapore fluctuations. In December, here you see the HSFO and crude oil prices as well as bitumen changes and the important factors. During December, G7 group announced the final decision about Russia's price cap. On 5th December, based on this decision, it was decided to determine a price cap up to 60 US dollar in the world, and also oil price reached to its lowest level in the 2022. It was recorded at 75 US dollars. Some experts believe that the main reason of falling oil price can be attributed to the increase of production by Russia. In Iran, vacuum bottom price dropped by around 30% in the mid of December. Although we had the drop of USD equity against our national currency, we faced that their competition among the refineries were happening frequently, and still we were observing high competitions up to 44% and even more among the refineries of Iran. The wide outbreak of corona in China, after the reducing the new restrictions, shot the heads of the country, and Brent crude oil didn't exceed over 84%. Bitumen price in this situation was also under the pressure of market tensions, and because there wasn't any increase of the prices of oil as well. Russia's war against Ukraine led to hyperinflation and stagnation in the world, and the whole economy of the world was also affected by this war as well. Unlike some analysts believe that Brent crude oil will be closed in a range of 75 to 80 US dollar, but we observed that it was closed at the range of 84 at the end of December, December 2022, and after the reduction of restrictions in China. As a result, Singapore HSFO CSC 180 reached over 400 after 2 months. In the ending week of the year, bitumen price maintained stable in the world, but in Iran, and as a result of frequent competition, as well as the bitumen prices that we were facing, lowest prices of bitumen was recorded in Iran, and for the first time during the last 6 months, we observed that Iran prices got much cheaper than Iraqi cargoes. At the first days of in January. At the first days of 2023, heads of International Monetary Fund warned that 1/3 of the world will face recession and the global economy will face issues. And Ms. Georgia also informed that the next coming months will be difficult for the China's economic situation, and the whole world will be affected accordingly. After 3 weeks, we were observing the upward trend in oil prices. It wasn't actually mainly because of China's situation that people were facing less restriction in the China because the government policy was changing. And also in Iran, I talked about the competition that we were frequently facing these days, and economic recession, which was also previously predicted by the analyst of the world in the second week of January, was also observed too. fall of bitumen prices up to $15 was expected, and on 15 January, another $15 decrease was happening. Also, as far as it has been heard, India is expecting another fall of bitumen prices during 1st of February as well. Here, we are going to make a conclusion for the next 3 months. Actually, mainly we have to talk about February and April, the forecast and probable scenarios of bitumen price, which was mainly due to based on the frequency of factors that we faced in the last 4 months. Based on the frequency, we come up with 6 factors. First of all, crude oil fluctuations, vacuum bottom competition, demand of bitumen, exchange rate in Iran, geopolitical crisis of the world, and as well as ocean freight shipping line are the main factors that we are going to discuss here. Crude oil started a falling trend from the beginning of 2023, and the range of $70 to $90 is predicted, and a most probable range of crude oil during the first 3 months, which is an important area. If oil breaks over 90, then we might say that it can be the start of a new upward trend, but if it breaks lower than 70, then it would be hard to say that we can expect the higher prices. Also, on 4 January, U.S. Energy Information Administration also projected the Brent price at about 83 in 2023 and 77 in 2024. The next factor, vacuum bottom competition. During October 2022 to January 2023, we observed around 87 vacuum bottom announcements in IME with the average of 52.18%, while the crude oil range was between $70 to $90. Unprecedented records were observed. And as this trend of crude oil is most probable to continue, we can say that this level of competition will still go on between the Iranian refineries in the next 2 months as well. About the demand of bitumen, in a report published by Argus Media on 17 January, it was heard that India, as one of the main consumers of bitumen from Asia, the demand will increase in India about up to 8 million tons, the actually level of imported bitumen demand. And as they are one of the main consumers, this attraction of demand will affect the whole world accordingly. About exchange rate, I have to say that up to 30% our national currency was devaluated during the last 3 months, and because of the lack of agreement for JCPOA as well as some of the other internal issues that we are observing. So this devaluation trend might continue, but this is not clear to what extent it might, and we have to consider that this devaluation will be compensated by the actually competition that we will observe among the refineries. About geopolitical crisis, we have to consider the Russia's war against Ukraine, as well as the global recession, which is mainly because of one main and significant factor of China recession and their unsuccessful policy of zero COVID. During the last 10 months, shipping lines were observing the lowest shipping charges and ocean freight, which was actually accordingly affected the rate of export of bitumen cargo from Iran and other countries. But from mid-January 2023, we are hearing that the implementation of GRA is happening by the shipping line from 21st January, and even it is more expected to raise more by the new announcement in next announcement. As a conclusion, I have to say that out of 6 factors that we were discussing, 5 of them, including crude oil price trend, the evaluation of wagon bottom competitions, increase of demand, the actually continuation of international crisis, and shipping charges were the increasing factors that are actually confirming that we can expect the stability or increase of the prices in the next coming 2 months as well. Oh, the last one. At the end, I have to say that Infinity Galaxy team is at your services all the weeks, all the time, and we will be glad to have you with us. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Razia Gilani with her insightful presentation. Thank you so much